Hey everyone, it's Live Up's Finest here, and today, after a lot of trial and error, I have finally managed to record a new video, and today we're going to be reading another story, and this one I've been looking forward to reading. It's a pretty good one, and I think you guys might like it. So without further ado, I shall now get into the story. So yeah, enjoy. Son, we need to have a chat about internet safety. I slowly crumpled up onto the floor next to him. His laptop was open, and he was playing a game on a Minecraft public server. His eyes were locked into the action. Comments scrolled down the side of the screen in a chat box. Son, can you stop your game for a minute? He exited the world and closed the laptop, and looked up at me. Dad, is this going to be another one of your cheesy, scary stories? What? I faked hurt feelings for a second, and then I grinned at him. I thought you liked my cautionary tales. He grew up listening to stories about children who encountered witches, ghosts, werewolves, and trolls. Like many generations of parents, I use scary stories to reinforce morals and teach lessons about safety. Single dads like me should use all the parenting tools at their disposal. He scrunched his face a little. They were fine when I was 6, but now I'm getting older, they don't scare me anymore. They seem kinda silly. If you're gonna tell a scary story about the internet, can you make it really, really scary? I squinted at him incredulously, and he folded his arms. Dad, I'm 10, I can handle it. Okay, I'll try. I began. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Colby. His expression indicated that he wasn't impressed with the terror of the introduction. He sighed deeply and settled in for another one of Dad's cheesy bedtime stories. I continued. Colby went online and joined several children's websites. After a while, he started talking to older kids in a game and the message boards. He made friends with another 10-year-old boy named Helper23. They liked the same video game shows. They laughed at each other's jokes. They explored new games together. After several months of friendship, Colby gave 23 6 diamonds in the game they were playing. This was a very generous gift. Colby's birthday was coming up, and Helper23 wanted to send him a cool present in real life. Colby figured it wouldn't hurt to give Helper23 his home address, as long as he promised not to tell any strangers or grown-ups. Helper23 swore he wouldn't tell anyone else, not even his own parents, and went about sending the package. I paused the story and asked my son, "Do you think this was a good idea?" "No," he said, shaking his head vigorously. In spite of himself, he was getting into the story. Well, neither did Colby. Colby felt guilty about giving away his home address, and his guilt began to grow and grow. But by the time he put on his pajamas the next night, his guilt and fear were larger than anything else in his life. He resolved to admit the truth to his parents, and the punishment would be steep, but it was worth to have a clear conscience. He squirmed in his bed as he waited for his parents to tuck him in. My son knew the scary part was coming up. In spite of his tough talk, he leaned forward, wide-eyed. I spoke quietly and deliberately. He heard all the noises of the house. The washing machine bouncing around in the laundry room. Branches scraped against the brick outside of his room. And his baby brother cooed in the nursery. And there were some other noises he couldn't quite pinpoint. Finally, his dad's footsteps echoed down the hall. "Hey, Dad," he called out nervously. "I have something to tell you." His dad stuck his head in the doorway at a weird angle in the darkness. His mouth didn't seem to move, and his eyes were all wrong. Yes, son? The voice was way off, too. Are you okay, Dad? The boy asked. Uh-huh, sung the father in a strangely affected voice. Colby pulled his covers up defensively. Is Mum around? Here I am. Mum's head popped in the doorway below Dad's. Her voice was unnatural. It was an unnatural falsetto. Were you about to tell us that you gave your home address to Helper 23? You shouldn't have done that. We told you not to give personal information out on the internet. She continued. He wasn't really a kid. He just pretended to be one. Do you know what he did? He came to our house and broke in and murdered both of us, just so he could spend some time with you. A fat man in a wet jacket emerged in the child's doorway, holding two severed heads. Colby shrieked and gasped as the man dropped the heads to the ground, unsheathed his knife, and moved into the room to work on the boy. My son screamed too. He twisted his hands defensively over his face, but we were just getting started with the story. After several hours, the boy almost dead, and his screams become whimpers, the killer noticed the wailing of a baby in another room. He removed his knife from Kobe. This was a special treat. He never murdered a baby before, and was excited about the prospect. Helper 23 left Colby to die and followed the cries through the house like a homing beacon. In the nursery, he walked to the crib and picked the boy up and held him in his arms. He moved towards the changing table and get a better look, but as he held the baby, the crying died down. The baby looked up and smiled. Helper 23 had never held a baby, but he gently bounced it in his arms like a pro. He wiped the bloody hands on the basket so he could stroke the baby's cheek. Hey there, sweet little guy. The beautiful rage of sadism melted into something warmer and softer. He walked out of the nursery, took the baby home, and named him William, and raised him as his very own. After I finished the story, my son was visibly shaken. Between ragged, frantic breaths, he screamed, "But Dad, my name's William." I gave him a classic dad wink and tousled his hair. "Of course it is, son." William ran up the stairs to his bedroom in a fury of sobs. But deep down, I think he liked the story. And that was the story, guys. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any criticism, as always, be sure to leave them in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed. This was a very long video, and I wanted to make this for quite some time. So thanks for watching, goodbye, and I'll see you in the next one.